One of the things we're talking about is in marriage, a lot of times you might have a husband that's on one end of the spectrum relative to his belief system,
his political belief
systems, and then the wife who's on another side of the spectrum in her belief system. So the question for both of you in marriage is, what do you believe, right? And why do you believe it? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Stephen and Corey's Get It Together. I'm Stephen and
I'm Corey.
Oh, that's fantastic. Hey, we are coming to you in a series of podcasts here over the next several episodes, really getting into some foundational principles on you and us and all of our freedoms together. We are in an election cycle here again in the United States, and very shortly, we're going to be having another election. And the question really becomes, okay, what do you believe? All right. What do you believe and why do you believe it? Because one of the things we're talking about is in marriage, a lot of times you might have a husband that's on one end of the spectrum relative to his belief system,
his political belief
systems, and then the wife who's on another side of the spectrum in her belief system. So the question for both of you in marriage is, what do you believe, right? And why do you believe it? And there's a good chance that part of what you believe is how you were raised.
That's true, yes. So what we were delving into is, since we here in America have what's called the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, these are the foundations of our country. And this is how we were formed.
Right.
So the country was formed.
And we also have, as we thought through this, one of the things that's happening for sure in America is people do not understand, their rights.
Yeah, that's right.
And those rights,
that's correct.
And they don't understand their values. Now you understand that values are given by God.
Right. And so, correct. So what happens a lot, I think, are people who are born into this country do not understand the freedoms and the benefits of this country.
Exactly.
People who come here from other countries love America, and they're like, I can do things here that I could never do in my country.
Right. How about your friend who's from Colombia who talks? She raves about this country.
She's like, I would never leave this country for anywhere else. I don't care whatever happens. However, she did say our political cycle right now is on a downward spiral towards communism and socialism. And she has seen it. So she says, I'm telling you, people need to understand what this country was founded on.
Sure.
So we're going to go back like we did previously on the first one. And we're going to cover the Declaration of Independence. And the reason we're doing this on a marriage podcast is, again, because a lot of married couples don't even know how to run their household because they don't understand the freedoms they have in this country to run their household.
And the thing is a lot of times, in life and in business, there are standards established. And so a lot of times people don't understand what their standard is. And for us, fortunately, we have a standard. It's called the Constitution.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a standard.
Every American has that standard. Not just us, but every American has that standard.
If you're an American citizen, right? So again, I wanted to also mention that never forget that in order to wield power, you must have consent of the people. We, as a people of the United States, as citizens of the United States, we own this country.
Yeah.
Okay. Washington is supposed to work for us.
That's right.
And it seems that we have forgotten that.
We govern. We are the governed, meaning we govern the country. That's our responsibility to put the right people in office who work for us.
They are supposed to be our voice.
Yes.
Okay?
We're the boss.
We're the boss. And why and how have we subordinated that fact?
Yeah. So let's go into where this all started. The Declaration of Independence was established in July 4th. That's why we celebrate 4th of July, 1776. And we already started reading some of that in the previous episode. So I'm going to drop down to the second paragraph. Second paragraph. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
Amen.
That they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights.
Yes.
That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Pause for a second. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If you have no life, why do you need liberty?
That's for all men are created equal. That means even the baby in your womb.
Yeah.
I'm telling you now, because that baby is a creature. That is a human being.
Mhm.
So when it says hold these truths to be self-evident, if you have a baby in America, as soon as that baby is a baby, not when it comes out, but when it is created in your womb as a baby, it is endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable rights, meaning you can't take them away. That among these are life. They have life, they have liberty, and they have the pursuit of happiness. That to pursue these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving that they're just powers from the consent of the governed. Governments are created for the man.
Yes.
Okay. We create the governments, and we have the consent. They have the consent of us, the governed, to govern.
Right.
We give them the
But
consent.
they need to do their job.
Yeah, we give them the consent, which means we tell them what we want done, and they are to do it.
They are our voice.
That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it and to institute new government, meaning we can fire the congressman,
Yes.
the senator, the state house representative. We can fire the president, the vice president, the speaker. That we can fire all of them because we have the right if they're not doing the job that we told them
But
we
here's
wanted
the
done.
issue. You can't fire them unless you know you can.
That's right.
Okay. And so if you're out here voting, okay,
That's
based on what color your skin is, or you're voting based on whatever something else is, you need to vote based on your rights and your values.
Because your vote is how you fire them.
Yeah,
People
exactly
say,
correct.
How do you fire them? They can never be fired. You don't vote for them.
That
you
is
vote
excellent.
them out. You put somebody else in place and
Absolutely.
say, you're not working out. Gotta go.
So here's the question though. How do you know this and many people don't?
Because I love my country and I want to know why.
Hold on. It's not that easy. I love my country. That's somewhat of a platitude.
It is.
How
easy.
did you get there?
I got frustrated with the government. I got frustrated. And well, I grew up, you're talking about how I grew up.
Yeah, I want to know because you do have a sensitivity to this.
Yeah, I grew up in the state that was one of the founding states to create this country.
Okay.
So because of that, my history, my state history has a lot to do with all of this that surrounds this, that surrounds the Declaration of Independence, which was written in Pennsylvania, which is close to my state that I grew up in. So because I know, I'm like, wait a minute, I have a right when I vote. What does that mean when I vote? What does that mean? Because here in the Declaration of Independence, it doesn't say you're voting. It literally says you're making the choice. Well, guess what? How you make the choice? You vote.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have to really come clean on something, and that is this. My wife is the most passionate citizen of this country. Here's what I mean by this, okay? My wife gets emotional saying the Pledge of Allegiance. She gets emotional, okay, when people sing the Star Spangled Banner. It is so beautiful to watch her passion for the blood that was shed, for the freedoms that we have in our country. And today, so many people are freely relinquishing that power. They don't understand it. They don't know.
And then you wonder why, let's bring this back to home.
Yeah.
You wonder why your children's education isn't the best that it could be.
That's right.
Because you yielded power to your local government.
Yes.
You have say over who you put in the school system,
yes.
who you put as a superintendent over the schools, who you put on the school board. You have say what teachers go into your school.
Yes.
Now we actually have something called, school choice. You should never have, thank goodness we have it, but we should have never had to have it if you actually voted the right way.
That's right.
Because you can fire those people.
Fire them.
This is your children's education.
It's your duty to be engaged.
This is your child's option to be able to say the Pledge of Allegiance in his classroom.
Right.
So that's just one aspect. What about your health care?
Yeah.
You have a say in
You
your
have a
health
say.
care. You have a say in your health. What's the health, the Department of Health and Education?
Yeah.
You have a say.
Health and Human
Health and
Services.
Human Services. You have a say for that. You can vote. You can talk to your congressman. And if your congressman and your senator do not do what you tell them to
Fire
do,
them.
you don't vote for them and you fire them and you make your voice known in your community.
Right.
Because when your voice is known in your community gets together and says, that's right, we don't have this, we don't have this, we don't have this. They're out. We're not voting for them again. Or you go to your congressman or your senator and you say, you're doing such a great job.
Right.
We really thank you for casting your vote in this manner. Thank you for taking care of our
Exactly.
state.
Absolutely.
That's what they're supposed to be doing. We will elect you again. And now they know I have the backing of the people.
Right. And it's all about, again, looking at what do you believe as a husband and a wife and a family in your household. It is your duty to get engaged in this process and make sure, okay, that your voice is heard relative to your values.
So we're
and what you believe.
We're going to share. We're watching a certain show that we really enjoy, and there's an excerpt in there, and he literally is talking about this.
Yeah.
So here you go.
Here you go.
You know, in order to wield power, you have to have the consent of the governed. Do you remember that? That was actually the idea the country was founded on. That government has no legitimacy apart from the approval of citizens, period, because we own the country and they don't.
So you understand where he just said, in order to wield power, you have to have consent of the government.
Right.
So let's talk about that. That literally is in the Declaration of Independence. It says, after it says creator, they are endowed by their creator with certain inalienable rights, that among them are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving that their just powers from the consent of the governed. That's what he just said. Deriving their just powers from the consent of the government, the governed. We are the governed. The government only derives its powers from us.
This is very important because I think that Washington thinks, okay, that they are in control. Washington really thinks that they're in control because many of us have given that control over to them.
Yes.
Right. And so we're all sitting here expecting them to do this for us and do that for us, do this for us. No, we have the freedoms to go out and do for us what we need to do for us. Right.
And make them do according to what we voted for them to do.
Absolutely.
So what's gotten out of hand is our government has gotten out of hand. And again, if you are a U.S. citizen, or if you're wanting to become a U.S. citizen, if you're going through the courses and you're learning, you're probably learning more about the Declaration of Independence than most American-born citizens.
Yeah, absolutely.
But understand that you have a right to your family, to your community, to your church, to your job, to your business. You have rights that you must perform and you must push through so that you are following your Declaration of Independence, your foundations of this country. A lot of people don't understand that they have the rights to the foundations of this country. And they're letting the government tell them, we got you, we'll take care of you. You never want the government to take care of you, ever. Here's another example. We have where this gentleman is talking about how his mother let the government take care of him, let the government take care of her whole life. And it's a sad story, but you understand why you don't want government in your life. So check this out.
But when I became a cop, I knew the conservative path was the only way. You can only walk into so many generational broken homes where the grandmother, the mother, and the kids are living in the same rent-controlled, bug-infested apartment, and nobody has a job. You can only walk into that home 100 times before you say, man, if this is the government helping, don't help me. Please, the old Reagan adage, right? I'm from the government, I'm here to, please stop helping. Please, God, I'm not using his name in vain at all. Stop helping people. And, that's when I started to really see the light. And then since, I'm always comfortable talking to you as a friend. I mean, it was, my mom. It was hard. I mean, sorry, I don't mean to be a buzzkill, but I just lost my mom, and she, thank you, brother. I needed that. My mom, I get a call recently, it was not that long ago, and, you know, she had fallen down the stairs and died unexpectedly. But my mom was, she loved me, but the system broke her, man. It just broke her. I mean, she was this really powerful, strong woman who had been through so much, and I just watched this decay over time. And the problem is the government was always trying to help her. She was on SNAP and all these programs and all of these things. And when you tell people it's okay not to add value to the world and be productive, then I've got news for you. A lot of people will just stop being productive. And it really hurt. I mean, I tried to save her so many times. And I mean, outside of the just trauma of losing her, and when I did, it was so unexpected. The part that still gets me now is I really always thought I was 5 minutes from saving her. I swear, my wife could tell you, I was like, this time is it. Like, I'm gonna get it this time, and we're gonna turn this ship around, and can't save her now, you know? And I'm telling you, that's what the government does to people.
So here is an example of when you allow the government to take care of you and you can't get off the system. You heard him speak about, my mother just couldn't get off the system. Every time you go back, and I'm sure a lot of you have family members like that, where you want to go in and you want to help them and you want to rescue them. And they're like, I know I should do better, but you know, I'm still getting my government check. And, you know, I know my kids are still living with me. You're the only one that's moved out. And if the government can get you into a mindset, guess what? You hand that down. He talked about his mom being like that. Well, guess what? There are generations of families who are still living in the same housing project that the government supplied for them, and they don't know any different. So if you have that family member, if you're that family member, you have to know that the government is not your source. God is your source.
Right.
Have a prosperous life, a happy life, a life of peace, all these things that it's in the Declaration of Independence. Study it so that you can pull yourself up by the bootstraps and you can become a stronger person because you have the guidance. You have your protection is your Declaration of Independence. Your protection is the Bill of Rights. So for families, we're talking now about how the government interrupts and gets inside your family.
Right.
You don't want them inside your family ruling and telling you what you should eat. Here's what we're going to pay for. This is where you can live.
Right.
Listen,
don't discipline your kids. I mean, come on.
Yeah, this is your bus ticket because you're probably never going to be able to afford to get a car because we're not going to give you enough money for a car. You don't want the government having to regulate how you live.
That's right.
And that is all based upon your vote.
That's right.
Your ticking of the box. That's all based upon how you vote, because in this country, we still have the right to put those people in office because we are the governed.
We are the government.
Who govern the government.
That's right. We have the power. And how is it that we actually forget this? We absolutely forgot somehow, many of us, that we are in charge. The government needs to be accountable to us.
So again, we did this short little vignette to let you understand where you're at and where you can be in this country. And for those of you outside of this country, comment below if you know how blessed America really is and the benefits that come from this, from the Declaration of Independence. We're not talking about commenting about the government that's running the country now, because we know that has to be fixed. However, comment if you've ever come to America and you say, I could live there. Or, you know, even comment if you've come here and you've lived here and you're like, this is way better than where I'm from. Because American people who are so spoiled, they don't realize how good they have it.
And so we're going to continue to have conversations, okay? And we're going to continue to bring you information regarding this because it is very important.
So you know what I say? Vote.
Vote. Get out and vote.
Yes.
You know, when the time comes,
and vote on policy. I'm going to
vote on policy. Vote on the policies. Vote on what you believe.
Vote on the policies that are at hand. Don't vote on the personalities of the people, because
that's a good point.
You're never going to sit down to dinner with them. Who cares what their personality is like?
That's a good point.
But you know what? Those policies are going to be activated in your life. So you better be voting for the right policies.
Yes.
Again, personality, I don't care.
Vote based on policy, which ties back to your values.
Yes.
Okay. What is the standard in which you live your life? You have the freedom and the right. You have a voice.
You do.
Your decisions should be based on that.
Yes. Okay. So put the comments below, subscribe, like, and share.
We're coming back at
We're
you.
coming back at you. We're going to have some more of these. So I
Exactly.
hope you enjoy it.
So until next time,
Make sure your household gets it together.
get it together.
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 Take care.
Take care.